Prediction: Tyreek Hill is traded on sometime during the NFL draft.
Okay,
I like been number one. That's my prediction. The spicy take is like, wouldn't catch me doing this, baby. I would want no part of the Tyreek Hill business. And I said that the second that the season ended, when he had his little whatever he was doing in the locker room, he quits on the team, and then it's just like,
which incident are you talking about? Because there's been like 40 of them.
fair point, fair retort. I was specifically speaking about when he just like broke character in the middle of a locker room answer, and just like you could see, like, he had something to say, and he kind of was like juggling back, and he's like, "I'm gone, bro. Like, I'm out. I've enjoyed my time here, but I'm out." And then obviously he's thrown up a peace sign on social media every other week at this point. He's had some run-ins at his house, domestic incidents that didn't become like charged, whatever. Everybody's been up on the news with Tyreek Hill. So yeah, you're right. There's been a lot of things. I think it's just Miami is in a position where I think they do need to weirdly like reset. But are also need to win, which I do think puts them in a tough spot. But I just feel like they need to get control. They need to get control of this locker room generally, and I think they need to. They also badly need to develop, and I feel like this is for the third year in a row I'm saying this, they need to develop like some sort of counterpunch on offense. It felt like at the end of their first year that was apparent. It was very apparent last year. And I think coming into this year, sometimes the best way to develop something, talk about like we talked about food in the last segment. If you want to lose weight, best thing you can do, don't bring any junk in the house. You need to develop a counterpunch on offense. Yeah. Get the first punch off the team. Okay, it's the but we could just run that RPO like big over with Tyreek again. We're in a bad spot. Just get it off the team. Then you've like, okay, how can we actually activate Jalen Waddle, who we paid long-term money to? We can keep doing the cool Jonnu Smith plays. We can actually maybe develop a serious run game at some point. So I feel like they need to sort of they need a different vision on offense is number one. And number two, I just think I'd want to get out while the getting is maybe still reasonably decently good for Tyreek Hill. It's just been one thing after another. I think he's a declining player. I think they should ship him off. I think somebody will be desperate enough to take him, but it would not be me if I was making a decision.
It would not be me as well, unless it's like, fourth rounder? Like, we're talking day 3 pick, like Randy Moss, Raiders to Patriots type, stock drop, when he went for a fourth. And then on top
the only team I would do it if I was the Chiefs is the only team I would do it.
Isn't it
is just bring him back in for Kansas City. But that's it. Other than that, like, no, I think every single team should pass. But
because if you have a young QB, you don't want that. If you have a young receiver room, you don't want that. Okay, so all right, we're close to contending. Do we really want to rattle our room because of this personality and stuff? That it's just so much. It's just. Yeah, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, even if he can run. I'm glad you brought up. I don't think his game will age well. So that's a great point as well. It's not that he's fat. Like, fast is one thing, and you can have other skills. And Tyreek Hill actually has some other skills on top of his speed. But the thing is, he's smaller too. So it's like not the greatest combination. The small and fast does not age well. But also great point about the Dolphins as well. I think the Jonnu Smith signing and usage last year is going to do more long-term benefits on that Dolphins offense than really anything else they've done, because it's like, we can do that with the tight end. Wow. And actually some explosive plays off of that. All right. Well, now we don't need the intermediate long stuff with Hill because, all right, now we got the short intermediate stuff with Jonnu. And then now we get the speed stuff with Waddle. And now we get more complementary parts. Maybe we do get some size at receiver, as a more of a dirty work guy. So we don't have to RPO everything. They're the worst short yardage offense than I can ever remember. And that's not just last year. It's ever since this offense has been there, since McDaniel has been there. And it's one of those things. It's like, this is the formula, but it's like, yeah, well, guess what? We're hitting a limit with this formula. And then you got guys like Teron Armstead retiring, who is also like a top personality in the locker room. So like you said, I think it's a reset, revamp kind of. It's not a rebuild, because like you said, they have to compete, and you're also paid your quarterback. You're not rebuilding with a paid quarterback. So I do think that, I like this prediction. I'd even put a more medium because it's just because how many deuces have been put up now. Like you said, every other
Maybe
week.
It's too easy.
No, but I like this one. I saw that you had star receiver, so I was curious which one you're going to go with. But I kind of want to see what the Dolphins look like this year. They're one of the more interesting teams. I know we haven't really talked about them too much the last couple of months, but they have, how they fill in between the lines is always interesting. So I want to kind of see how they continue to do those moves.